Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Warm-up 39's on the screen. Let's get started, please. I went over this one already yesterday, so you should be able to follow along. Give you guys some time, copy and go. All right, here goes. I know, just for the sake of time. So, number one, by now you should know that this negative in between the two parentheses distributes to the right. Is that correct? So that means we get negative 3x to the fourth minus, put a plus, minus 5x to the third minus 4. From there, once you distribute that, you just bring the first parentheses down. 7x to the fourth minus 2x cubed. So far, so good, yes? All right. From there, we combine like terms. Start with the highest degree. What's my highest degree? To the fourth. So 7x to the fourth. Take away 3x to the fourth. That leaves us with 4x to the fourth. Next, combine the cubes. We got negative 2x cubed and negative 5x cubed, so negative 2 and negative 5, that's negative 7x cubed. And last but not least, the number without a variable is called a constant. We bring down the constant, which is negative 4, and we are done. How about them apples? Pretty good, yeah? All right. Next, go to number 2. And I said I like to use a rectangle for number 2. Just to keep me organized. That's just me. And I'm pretty sure for some of you it works the same as well. So I write the longer one on top, 3x cubed plus 7x plus 2. Draw a line down after the 3x cubed and a line down after the 7x. Then we write the first binomial on the side. We got 3x and negative 2. Draw a line across after the 3x. So I'm going to use blue to multiply the 3x times all three terms on the top. So what is 3x times 3x cubed? We start with the numbers. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x cubed is x to the fourth. Next, 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is positive 21. And x times x is x to the second. Next, 3 times 2 is 6, so it's positive 6, and then this one has an x, so just write the x next to it. And last but not least, the negative 2, we're going to multiply that times all three again. So negative 2 times 3x cubed, that's negative 6x cubed. Next, negative 2 times 7x, that's negative 14x. And negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. And then just to organize our polynomial, circle the highest degree. This is the highest degree. Is there another one? No. So I write 9x to the fourth. What's the next down? The third degree. So we write negative 6x cubed. From there, what's the next one down? X squared. So we write positive 21x squared. Not last, but the next one is the x's, so we're going to combine the 6x minus 14x. That gives us negative 8x, and our constant is negative 4. How are we doing? Good? Yeah? You guys like this organization, or some of you did distribution? You can do distribution, but it becomes like such a long expression, so I'd rather do something like this. All right, let's go to number 3. Number 3, tell your neighbor what would be GCF for number 3. What's GCF for number 3? Yes, that is correct. 3. That leaves us with x squared minus 6x plus 5. However, we can factor this inside. 5 on top, negative 6 on the bottom. What two numbers multiply give me 5? Then when you combine them, give us negative 6. What two numbers multiply give us 5? What, or should I say, what only two numbers multiplied give us 5? 5 and 1, and when you combine them, give us -6. Yeah, they become negative. -5, -1. So therefore, we bring over the 3, and then this inside becomes 2 factors, and my factors are x minus 5, x minus 1. And I love these. I like that factoring stuff. All right, next. We have a polynomial with 4 terms. What did I say to do? Split them up into 2's, right? So group the first 2, group the last 2 terms, and put a little plus sign in between. Let's start with the first 2. What is our GCF for the first 2 terms? Looks like 8. What else do both of them have? X to the what? To the third. Both of them should have an x to the third at least. So if we took out the 8 and the x to the third, we're left with x on the first term, and x to the third divided by x to the third, 8x to the third, that is 1. Next, what is the GCF for the second binomial? Looks like -7, and that leaves us with x plus 1. So, what's the same here and here? What do you guys see the same? Bx plus 1, that's one of my factors, x plus 1. So what's left over on the first set? 8x cubed. And what's left on the second set? -7. So we're going to make that a second factor, 8x cubed minus 7. We're in fuego. Are we doing good? Yeah? All right, and the last one, graph. Graph our rational function. And even though we already did it yesterday, again, I want us to do this again. So, x, f of x. And what are the values that we use for when factoring any function that they don't tell us the domain? -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So to go a lot faster, look up. If I substitute -2, whoa, what was that? Sorry. Let me erase that. All right, let me try it again. To go a lot faster, I'm going to substitute -2. Oh my goodness. Bah. How did it do the same thing? Maybe the technology wants to give us a day off or something. No. All right, here, let's try it again. -2, we're going to substitute right there. It worked perfectly. So therefore, that is 1 over -2, which is -1/2. Next, if we substitute -1 in here, so 1 divided by -1 is -1. However, if I substitute the 0 here, we have what? 1 over 0. Can that happen? No, we can't have 0 in the denominator, so we write UND as undefined. That's what it means. Undefined. Continuing, if I substitute the 1 in there, 1 divided by 1 is 1. If I substitute there, that's 1/2. Let's graph that. Be nice. 1, 2, -1, -2, -1, 1. All right, here we go. -2, 1/2. -2, -1/2 is about right there. -1, -1 is about right there. And then you graph your left side. Leave it as a little curve like that. Let's go to the top right. +1, +1, right there. And 2 and 1/2, 2, 1/2. and you graph your curve, and there you go. Once again, those are rational functions. We're about to get into that pretty soon. All right? Pretty good, yeah? All right. Send me your warm-up, please. Agenda. Warm-up 39 done. We're still in the middle of dividing polynomials. Tonight's home plate sheet 6.5C, numbers 1 through 8, odds only. And last night you did what? Evens, which means you're going to Canvas after you copy the agenda and turning your home plate from last night on Canvas. So do that right now, please. Give you guys some time. Also set up a Cornell note. You don't need a Frere model today. All right, copy the code to access the home plate, BX2GN. Write that down, BX2GN. BX2GN. And once again, BX2GN. So, yesterday looked like this. You did evens. Tonight, you're doing odds. However, let's get some more practice in. There's going to be a couple of different things that I want to present today. Just follow along. So our objective for today, I can divide polynomials. And what kind of division are we on? Long division, our favorite. All right? What's that? Okay. BX2GN. 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 All right. So here we go. Polynomials. By now, we should know what polynomials are. Is that correct? If you were to tell someone in one word, what are polynomials? Tell your neighbor one word for polynomials. What are they? One word. Let's go with, what have we called on in a while? Autumn. What would be one word for polynomials? That is correct. Expressions. All right. So, we covered that yesterday. We talked about the three different types of ways of writing division, but we focused on long division. We did this one, this one, this one. Today, copy this one. Examples 1 super duper cube. Write this down. 7x cubed minus 6x plus 9 divided by x plus 5. Copy that, please. Write that down. Write that down on your paper. Example 1, 7x cubed minus 6x plus 9 divided by x plus 5. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Gio, you ready? All right. Here we go. Let me make some space over here. So, before we continue, remind your neighbor, what is the first thing we check? What is step 1? Step 1, remind your neighbor that it's what? That both polynomials are what? Yeah, standard form. How do we check that? Well, we look at the first term, look at the exponent on the variable, and that's the degree. What is the degree for that one? 3. Circle the second term. What is the degree for the exponent on the variable? An invisible 1, so this is first degree. What is the degree of the third term? This one. Does it have a variable? No, so that one is 0. So, is that in standard form? Mr. Q, technically it is, Mr. Q, because it's from highest to least. However, what degree is missing? The squared. So I want you to put a 2 on top, in between 3 and 1, and box it, because we're going to need it. That's to remind us that we need the second degree. Let's go to the next polynomial. You good over there, Miguel? Yes? All right, here we go. Second polynomial. What is the degree for this one? An invisible 1. Degree for this one, 0. Is it in standard form? Yes. Okay, so step 1 done. Step 2, we set up our what? Our division. Set up our division. So, look up. I'm going to write this polynomial in standard form. So I write 7x cubed. What degree follows? Second degree, but do we have any? No, but we need the space, so we put plus 0x squared to reserve the spot for that. Write it there, please. Plus 0x squared. That's our second degree. What's next? Minus 6x. And what's next? Plus 9. Divided by our divisor. It was in standard form, so we just write x plus 5. All right. So our last step, step 3, all we do is divide. So here we go. What number times x gives me 7x cubed? Tell your neighbor, please. One number times x gives us 7x cubed. Tell your neighbor, then German's going to enlighten us to get us started. What number times x gives us 7x cubed? All right, German. 7x squared, that is correct. So 7x squared times x, that's 7x cubed. And 7x squared times 5, that's 35x squared. From there, we're going to subtract. Look up. Don't forget to circle your subtraction sign so that you remember to distribute here and here to both terms. So 7x cubed cancels with 7x cubed. 0 minus 35x squared is negative 35x squared. Bring down the next term. What is my next term? Negative 6x. Do the process again. What number times x gives us negative 35x squared? Tell your neighbor, please, and then German's going to pass someone. What number times x gives us negative 35x squared? Tell your neighbor, please. What number? All right, German, pass someone. Carlos. Negative 35x. Let's see, negative 35x times x. Negative 35x squared. And negative 35x times 5, that's negative 100 and what? 175? Is that correct? 175x. Subtraction sign, and what did I say to not forget? Circle it so that you can distribute the negative here. Look up. Changes to positive. Negative here, and it changes to positive. So 35 and negative 35 cancel. 175 minus 6, that's 169x. Bring down the last term, plus 9. All right, tell your neighbor what's the last number that you're going to add to that solution. Tell your neighbor the last number. All right, last number. Renzo, go. Help him out, Oscar. 169, that is correct. 169 times x is 169x, and 169 times 5, let's see, that's 500. 7 times 5 is 35. 845? plus 845. Put a subtraction sign. Distribute that one here and here. This cancels. So we have negative, let me move this up for those of you that are in the back. Negative 845 plus 9 gives us negative 836. Is that correct? And that is my remainder. So you're like, wait a minute, Mr. Q, this time we got a remainder. Of course. Here it goes. However, if I was to ask you right away, what is the solution? You're going to say what? 7x squared minus 35x plus 169. Is that correct? However, for long division, you guys remember when you did long division when you were like in 4th grade or whatever? They said plus a fraction for the remainder. What is a remainder? Negative 836 over the divisor. What is our divisor? X plus 5. Let's go. I love these. And this is our quotient. All right, before I ask you to submit this, talk it over to your neighbor, let them know how did we write this? How did we ended up writing this? Talk it over to your neighbor. Explain it to them, please. All right, look up really quick for those of you that didn't see it. Here goes. Look up. If I was to have 7 divided by 3. Oh, let me change that. Sorry. Let me change the 3 to blue. All right. Question. What number times 3 gives us a number close to 7? 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. Put a negative here. That means I'm going to distribute this negative right here. So that gives me positive 1 as remainder. Is that correct? So our answer for this division is 2. Is that correct? However, don't we have a remainder? So we add what? 1 over what goes underneath? The 3. The only thing in elementary, they didn't ask us to write a plus. We just wrote 2 1/3. Is that correct? Everybody see that? You're like, what? They didn't tell us that. So does that transfer to this? Yes. All right. So with that said, thank you for sending it in. Copy this one. Example number 12. 9x to the 4th plus x cubed plus 11x squared minus 4 equals x plus, divided by x plus 16. So this is very similar to the one we just did. Similar, not the same. I'm going to give you a head start and see how you do with that one. Follow your process. Or as Obi-Wan Kenobi told Luke Skywalker in Star Wars episode 4, he said, use the Force, Luke. Use the Force. All right, I'll give you a head start. Go. All right. Then you pause the music, look up to the screen. Step 1, standard form, we check. What is the degree of the first term? 4th degree. How about this one? 3rd degree. How about this one? 2nd degree. How about this one? 0 degree. Is it in standard form? Yes. Is there a missing degree? The 1. So put a 1 and put a box on it because we need a placeholder. Next one, 1st degree, 0 degree. Is it in standard form? Yes. So that is done. Step 2, set up 9x to the 4th, 4th degree done, plus x cubed, 3rd degree done, plus 11x squared, 2nd degree done. What's my next degree? Yes, plus 0x, or x to the 1st, done. And then at the end, minus 4. Divided by x plus 16. Hands if you got that by yourself. Yeah, you should be able to get the setup already. Make sure you follow the process. So here we go. So, to get us started, what number times x gives us 9x to the fourth? Tell your neighbor, what number times x gives us 9x to the fourth? Tell your neighbor. All right, good communication. What number, Michelle? To the third? 9x to the third, hands if you got that. That is correct. 9x to the third times x, that's 9x to the fourth. And 9x to the third times 16, that's positive 144x cubed. Is that correct? Ooh-wee. Man, I'm telling you, I'm going to make a shirt for my YouTube channel and title it, No Calculators Needed. How about that, man? 9 times 16? 9 times 16 is 144. Subtract, look up. Don't forget to circle it to remind you to do what? To distribute that here and here. Both terms. This cancels. You got negative 144 plus 1x cubed. That's negative 143x cubed. Bring down the 11x squared. All right. Next, what number times x gives us negative 143x cubed? Tell your neighbor, what's that number? What is it? Let's go with Julian. What's that number? Negative 143x squared. Okay, so then that is negative 143x cubed. And negative 143 times 16, let's see, calculators, calculate. What is it? 2,288 x squared. We're going to subtract. Should have used a smaller number for the divisor. And what we circled the subtraction to remind us to what? Distribute the negative here, which makes that a positive, and here, which makes it a positive. This cancels. That leaves us with 2277x squared. Bring down the next term, which is 0x. Whew, we're going to end up with a huge number. So, what number times x gives us 2277x squared? That is positive 2277x. Is that correct? Yes, so that gives us 2277x squared. And 2277 times 16, let's see, calculators. $36,432x. Subtract. Distribute that here and here. This cancels. So that leaves us with negative 36,432x. And we bring down the last one, which is the constant of negative 4. So, what's our last number? What times x gives us 36,432x? Negative 36,432. So that gives us negative 36,432x. And negative 36,432 times 16, that gives us a negative. It's going to be close to 70,000, right? Nope. I mean, 700,000. What's that number? 5 what? I can hear 5 and then 32,000, 582, 912. Subtract, it is a lot. Distribute this one here and here. This cancels, and that leaves us with a remainder of 582,908. Remainder. Man, that was a long one. So, what is our answer for this division? 9x cubed minus 143x squared plus 2277x minus 36,432. Am I done? No, what do I need to write at the end? Plus, and our fraction, plus 582,908 over x plus 16. Whew. And this is our quotient. All right, send that in, please. Send it in. Write that down. Example 2q, 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 5 divided by x squared plus 3x plus 1. This shouldn't take us long. Process is the same. I just want to make sure that you got the process down. All right, to get us started, remind your neighbor what is the first step, and then from there, what is the second step? Talk to your neighbor. Go. Oh, yeah. Let me send it to your screen. All right, here we go. What's the first thing we check for? Jacob, what do we check for? Standard form. So what degree is the first term? 3. The next one? Next one. And is that in standard form? Anything missing? No. Second one. Second degree, first degree, 0 degree. Is that in standard form? Yes. Anything missing? No. So that means we start with 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 5, and all that divided by our divisor, x squared plus 3x plus 1. Question: what number times x squared gives us 4x cubed, everyone? What is it? 4x. So 4x times x squared, that's 4x cubed. 4x times 3x, that's 12x squared, and 4x times 1, that's 4x. Subtract, distribute the negative here, here, and here. This cancels. We're left with negative 10x squared, negative 1x, bring down the 5. And our last term, what number times x squared gives us negative 10x squared? Negative 10. So that is negative 10x squared, negative 30x, and negative 10. Subtract, and you know what to do from there. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your practice. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.